Yo, you want to see the most dangerous high kick the world has ever seen? Woo. I don't even need it to connect. That just kills you on fear alone. Hello, welcome to the Not So Casual UFC show, the show where I, Brad Lasky, go over stuff happening in the UFC with a slightly more casual point of view than other people. In this video, I'll be going over the main card of UFC 277 happening this Saturday, July 30th, giving my thoughts and predictions because 1, I like making predictions, and 2, I love being right. By the way, this is legitimately the first YouTube video I've planned out to make. I mean, unfortunately right now I have to use my smartphone to record, and I have a mic right here, but it's not even plugged in right now, so it's mainly for this part, it's just for aesthetics. However, I do have my mic here, so when I am recording parts of this video on my laptop, I am able to record audio through that. But hey, if you do like this video, leave a like, leave a comment, whatever, and who knows, I might consider making another video like this. Also, by the way, I'm only going to be covering fights in the main card, because besides Drew Dober, I don't know any of these fighters that are on the prelims. So unless you clicked on this video for me to talk about prelims, to that I say, first off, how did you find me? And second off, what would there for me to be talking about? That was English right there. To it. Was I covering my mouth? First, we have Magomed Ankalaev versus Anthony Smith. So I'll be quick with this prediction. I feel like Ankalaev will probably kick Smith's ass. So Ankalaev is an absolute beast with a really great track record from his last few fights, beating guys like Thiago Santos, Volkan Ozdemir, Nikita Krylov. He's shown that against the best, he can beat them. But Anthony Smith, he's been on a 3-fight win streak as well. He's on a good streak. However, I think that when we've seen him against more elite competition, such as Glover Teixeira, Alexandre Rakic, he does lose. And ultimately, I do think Ankalaev is just a more elite talent and in that stage of his career. Therefore, I predict Ankalaev to win by decision. He's won all these fights by decision. I think he'll get it done by decision. Did I say decision enough? All right. Our next fight is Alexandre Pentoja versus Alex Perez. So Perez's last fight was against the champion Figueiredo almost 2 years ago. Frankly, I'm not sure how this much time off will affect his performance. Justin Gaethje did put up a fight in the night performance against Michael Chandler, and he was away for a while. Now, do I think Perez is going to put up some type of Justin Gaethje performance against Pentoja? Probably not. I don't know, unless I'm wrong. In that case, sad emoji. Therefore, I predict Pentoja, and I'll say he'll win by decision. Alright, next is the Black Beast himself, Derek Lewis versus Sergey Pavlovic. I think I pronounced that correctly. Listen, if Derek Lewis does not win by knockout this Saturday, I will be mega sad. So to those who have seen his last fight against Tai Tuivasa, I recently watched it. I don't think Derek had a bad performance. I do, however, think that fight really just showed the world how tough Tai really is. And that was really the takeaway from that fight. Now, could this ugly-looking Sergey guy have just as tough of a chin? Technically, yes. However, you're crazy if you think that I'm going to go against Mr. Balls Are Hot himself. Give me the Black Beast by KO in round 1. Lock it in. Now, we're finally on to the championship fights of the night. And honestly, these last 2 fights are the most difficult to predict. So I'll be a little honest with you. I'm sort of making up some of this analysis as I go along. But again, this is a more casual analysis of the card. But again, I am not that type of casual, okay? If any of these fights are a wrestling match, I can handle it, alright? Anyways, let's just jump into it. Brandon Moreno versus Kai Kara France 2. Now, I've been a big fan of both Moreno and Kara France, especially after the past few performances. For this video, I'll definitely be going over specifically their past three fights, review some of them, and tell you what I liked about them, why I liked them through those performances. So let's talk about Brandon Moreno for a little bit. Overviewing his MMA career in general, I know he started off in the UFC, lost some fights, was kicked out of the UFC, had to work his way back into it, then had to work his way up to the top. But his very first fight that I saw was his first fight against champion Davison Figueiredo, which, by the way, was within a month's notice. His last fight, November 2020, and then you see this fight, December 2020. I mean, that's crazy, taking a fight within a month's notice, let alone a title fight. But hey, not only was it one of the best flyweight fights I've seen, it was one of the best title fights I've ever seen. So I knew whenever the second fight would happen, I was going to be really excited to see it. And I was really rooting for Brandon Moreno in the second fight. For one, just like seeing his interviews and stuff, he's such a genuine, authentic, nice person. You can just tell when you watch him. Like, he's such a nice person. I was really rooting for him in this fight. Plus, not to mention, he's such a nerd. Like, he collects Funko Pops, collects Legos. He's into nerd stuff, and I think that's really awesome that this like small nerd managed to make a career out of beating people up. I think that's great. It's great for nerds. It's great for I don't know what I'm saying, but anyways, I was really looking forward to Brandon Moreno winning this fight, and the way he won it, rear naked choke in the third round, it was so great to watch. I was so happy he won. Unfortunately, he did lose the third fight. I was really rooting for him to finish out the trilogy. He didn't. I know he got knocked down a couple of times, which mainly the reason he lost. So, but he's been one of my favorites because I was pulling for him in that second fight when none of my friends were really pulling for him. They thought, Figueiredo was going to win. He was a champion for the reason. But I was rooting for Marino. I knew nice guys win, nerds win eventually, and yeah, I've just been a fan of him since that fight. So now let's talk about Kai Kara France. The first fight I ever saw him in was against this guy right here. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but he knocked him out in the very first round. So when I saw him, I was like, oh, this dude got like real knockout power, like real knockout power. So, doing more research and stuff, find out he's part of City Kickboxing, the same gym as Israel Adesanya, the middleweight champion, Dan Hooker. So even I was like, okay, yeah, no. So he's like learned from a great gym, from great fighters, etc. Fast forward to his next couple of fights. I remember when they announced this fight against Cody Garbrandt, I was like, dude, this is a bad matchup for Cody, man. Not only is he not a flyweight, but his chin was not the same as he used to be. He's got a glass chin. As soon as this guy gets his chin, like he's gonna knock him out, and that's exactly what happened. And then, fast forward to, last March versus Askar Askarov. This was definitely his biggest test, just seeing how he would defend against his wrestling, defend against his takedowns. And in that fight, you really saw how good of a takedown defender he is, Like, he survived that first round. I know he was, like, almost got submitted, but he got out of it and then just relied on his takedown defense and boxing and kickboxing in the second and thirds to win that fight. And I was like, okay, yeah, damn, he's not just, a guy with knockout power. He's a real ass fighter. So back to the predictions board. The two main questions that I have for this fight is, one, how many takedowns will Moreno be able to land? And two, how effective can Moreno defend Kai's right hand? The answer to these two questions will really determine who wins this fight. Damn, like, trying to pick a winner for this co-main event is like picking your favorite child. This is so difficult. Okay, I think I've made a decision. I am going to go with my gut feeling. So I'm gonna stick with my gut feeling and take what a lot of other people are also predicting. I will predict Brandon Moreno, and he will win by decision. Sorry, Izzy. Sorry, Dan Hooker. Please forgive me. All right, we're here. We're finally at the main event of the evening. Juliana Pena versus Amanda Nunez 2. I mean, their first fight was a wild night. I mean, no one I talked to, no one I watched or listened to ever said that Juliana even had a chance to win. I mean, seeing her land those jabs, putting pressure on Amanda, taking her down, and submitting her was insane. It was undoubtedly the greatest upset in MMA history. That being said, this will be a very different fight from the first one, simply because both of these fighters should have a chip on their shoulder. I mean, Juliana certainly will be. I mean, she's like a plus 200 underdog on most sports book. She knows she's an underdog, even though she is a champ, so you know she's definitely going to be using that as fuel for this fight. For Amanda, though, I'm very curious to see how her preparation for this fight has changed mentally and or physically. Cause like, is she considered the female MMA GOAT if she loses to the same person twice in a row that she was favored against both times? I mean, that'd certainly be up in the air, I would say. So to me, the biggest question going into this fight is how hard is Amanda willing to keep her GOAT status? Ultimately, I think this will be a great fight, and I'm going to end this video on a wild note. I predict Juliana Pena to win by submission in, I'll say, round 3 and still. Anyways, that concludes this video. If you made it this far to the end, first off, thank you for watching. I hope this video was enjoyable. I'm not entirely sure how it looks, but it was really fun to make. And to recap, my picks for the main card were Ankalaev, Pentoja, Derek Lewis, Brandon Moreno, and Juliana Pena. But all this was done through my Tapology account. I'm Brad from Sports on Tapology. If you want to check me out, TAPOLOGY. It's where I get my MMA news, where I do all my MMA picks. So check that out. But again, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I don't know how this video will turn out, whether it's through editing, through the laptop, through this. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out the final product, But hey, leave a like, leave a comment, leave anything. I can handle criticism. I do like making videos. This was really fun to make, going through the process of it. So maybe I'll do more of this. Maybe I won't. Who knows? But anyways, thank you for watching. Peace.